Howdy, howdy. Bits and pieces. This is the 19th, Proverbs chapter 19. Proverbs 19, verse 14. Thoughts, bits and pieces. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers. Well, unfortunately, the one son that I have, the one child that I have, there are no illegitimate children that I have. He's not going to inherit anything from me, for there isn't anything to be had. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 14, part 2. And a prudent wife is from the Lord. So what's the flip side of that? A wife that is not prudent is not from the Lord. 2 plus 2 being 4. Fools make a mock at sin. Let's go to Proverbs 1, verse 7. Verse 7, one more page. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. What is wisdom? The fear of the Lord. What would be the fear of the Lord? Doing right according to Him. And instruction. Rebuke and oh boy, I love it when this happens. Okay, there's the rebuke, which is a simple stop that, don't do that, that's wrong. Getting on to them. And then there's the other, starts with an R, where you give instruction, wisdom, instruction. Don't do that because, and this is why, or this is because and this is the why, so don't do that because, whereas more of an explanation rather than, I would say, a speedy scolding or getting on to. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. To despise, to make little of. And I would imagine that there is hatred involved there. Could or could not be. And a great or lesser amount of hatred in despising. But to despise, to make little of. Oh yeah, the speed limit in this neighborhood says 20, but it really doesn't matter if I go 30, there's just kids running around. Well, what does it matter? Which could go along the line of, as long as you don't get caught, it's okay. But to despise, to make little of God's word, to make little of His precepts, to make little of what He says, with a complacency, perhaps, or a brushing off, or a bit of a, well, yeah, but, just making little of it, or such as I think of in despising a person, yeah, you may or may not necessarily hate them, but, oh, don't listen to them, they ain't nothing, oh, yeah, it really doesn't. That sort of thing. Am I getting that point across okay? To despise, to make little of, to count as a thing of naught. Fools despise wisdom and instruction, and going off of that. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. And once upon a time ago, people would name their girls Prudence. It has been said, not to say that women are dogs or necessarily men, though most are men, mankind, period, returning to their own vomit, our own vomit. Dogs. Dogs. And a prudent wife is from the Lord. Which causes me to think of, okay, there's a fly on the floor. That's why I looked. It has been said, and it was said by a counselor also, of course, a worldly counselor, but once again, they used to, once upon a time ago, people would name their little girls Prudence, a prudent wife. Okay, it had been said by counselors, of course, counselors of the world, whose profession it was, that if you call a dog by its name long enough, it will answer. Well, that's pretty simple. And that's pretty easy. You get a dog, you get a new puppy, you call it a name long enough, often enough, it's going to answer to that name. So, a prudent wife is from the Lord. Maybe this is a tie-up. But back here, fools despise wisdom and instruction, make little of, count as a thing of naught, count it a small thing. And fools make a mock at sin. Prude, prudence, prude, a shortening of prudence, making a mockery of those who are prudent. Oh, you're such a prude. Don't be such a prude. You know, you don't have to act like a prude. You don't have to be so prudish, and so on. Fools make a mock at sin. Hate the righteous. Despise the righteous. So whether there's necessarily hate or not, they make little of. They count them as a small thing, a thing of naught, a worthless thing that really doesn't matter a whole lot, which could be accompanied with, this is, yeah, but leading into situational ethics, as it were, which was well taught by Lucille Ball in I Love Lucy. For an example, how many years ago has that been? That has been drilled into people's heads. And of course it was funny. So you can't hate that which makes you laugh, somebody said. I follow that to a great degree. But, once again, house and riches are the inheritance of fathers. There was nothing much for me to inherit, and there won't be anything for my son to inherit, whether it would be possible to get it to him or not. And a prudent wife is from the Lord. Fools make a mock at sin. Oh, don't be such a prude. You're such a prude, you know. Freedom. Got to be free. People got to be free. So, a non-prudent wife is not from the Lord. And then there are these strange women, us going outside of ourselves, which would be those of the house of God, of the church of the living God, going outside and getting a lost, a fake, or a fake, a false convert, or just plain lost, which could go along with the old saying, wonderful train of thought theater, you can't make a hoe a housewife. You can't make a housewife out of a whore. Well, whore. Think of that on other levels also. People whoring against, going against, committing adultery against their Creator. Whether or not He is your God, as in you have that relationship, as if he has accepted you into the beloved. He hath accepted you, not you accepting him into your heart. He is still your creator, and he is still the one you're going to answer to, whether you like it or not. God didn't ask you what you liked. He didn't ask me what I liked. And quite frankly, yes, Frankie, baby. Quite frankly, honestly, I like that quite frankly. I have always liked that. But quite honestly, I don't care what you like either. I don't care what you like either. If what you like goes against this, I don't care. If what I like goes against this, it's not a matter of what I like. It's a matter of what the Word says, and it's a matter of what the Word says, rightly divided. Rightly divided. So, house and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. It says in another, you talk to a saved man, a child of the living God, who hath hooked himself up with a false convert, daughter of Satan, essentially. Talk to him. Spend some time with them. See how that works for them. And a wife who is not prudent is not from the Lord. Wouldn't it be interesting to do at least a word search, if not a word study, on the word prudent and its derivatives, or that it derived from? But it just causes me to think, once again, I know over and over and over again it's going to drive some of you nuts. Well, this is just thoughts. So a wife that isn't prudent is not from the Lord. Fools make a mock at sin. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Oh, you're such a prude. Oh, you don't need to tell me. Don't be a prude. And I know that's old, years ago, but even when I was trying to grow up, I remember that being used. Oh, they're such a prude. Don't be such a prude. And the prudish. Don't be so prudish. Which was a little complex. Prudish, a word that was a little complex. So, that was not used so much. But that's just kind of what that brought to mind. And I thought that I would put a bit and a piece out there. Bits and pieces. Line upon line. Little by little. Anyway. For now, good day. Bye-bye.